The Smashing Machine is a film by Benny Safdie. He saw a 2002 documentary film from HBO called The Smashing Machine, The Trials of Extreme Fighting Mark Kerr. So it inspired him to make this movie. So you want to do a drama film based off of Mark Kerr. If you're unfamiliar, Mark Kerr is one of the pioneers of MMA fighting, alongside his friend Mark Coleman. The two of them were part of this bloody fighting championship thing, and he did a lot of fighting in Brazil and Saudi Arabia, and then he eventually joined something called the Grand Seven or something like that in Japan. So he'd go to Japan often and fight people. And however, the rules change sometimes, and he finds himself in a no contest situation. He's got a very tumultuous relationship with his girlfriend Dawn, who likes to party it up and drink, and he's not supposed to do that before fights, but it also hurts him for his substance abuse because he's addicted to opioids, and he's got easy access to it because this is like the late 90s to early 2000s. We're only focusing on like 3 or 4 years of Mark's life. But this is a pretty solid drama. I have to admit the first half was a little slow. The first half is very simple. It's kind of slice of life. Benny Safdie goes for the sort of, camera following around, shaky documentary style. I don't know if he's mimicking the HBO film, but he also does this in other films too, going for like a gritty aesthetic. I felt that this kind of held back the movie a little bit, because whenever you have like a thrilling MMA fight, he's usually filming it from the sidelines like a coach. So you're getting like a coach or a spectator perspective, always like the corner or the ropes in the way, and not good usage of close-ups or combat, or the camera's not in the ring half the time. So whenever there's an MMA fight, it's not that thrilling. But overall, the movie does pick up in the second half. After Mark has a close call, he has to sort of get himself clean and sober for a sort of comeback story. And same for his buddy Mark Coleman. While he's in rehab, Mark Coleman is winning, and now they enter this 16-man super tournament to determine the greatest fighter in the world. And if the two of them have to clash, it ends up being a very interesting matchup, because they're close friends, but they can't give it away to the other. In terms of acting, I felt that Dwayne Johnson, with the hair, looks kind of weird. He was very cheery for the whole movie, and I didn't really like his performance. However, after he got out of rehab, he shaves his head, and the makeup makes him look a lot different when he's shaved and with the makeup and the no tattoos and stuff. And he was like, the performance was a lot better after he shaved his head. And of course, right after that sequence, he has a huge fight, and that's like the emotional climax of the film. And sometimes the music choices get in the way of the film too. There's a couple of awkward song choices in there that just sort of either cover up the talking, or it's in the background awkwardly, but not in an organic way. I also felt that sometimes Dwayne Johnson's his acting wasn't up to snuff in terms of emotional crying. There's 2 sequences where he's crying, but he like covers his face with his hands, and it almost feels like he's trying to like cover up his tears. I mean, like, most people don't go like this, and that doesn't feel natural, to be honest, in my opinion, unless Mark Kerr really did it like that. But overall, the second half really picks up the film and makes it a lot better. The comeback story, the redemption story is very simple. There's some training stuff like from Rocky. It's a very different kind of sports movie because, well, I mean, it's based off a true story, so that elevates it a little, but also there's nothing too crazy about the narrative. It's not like he's shooting people with guns or stuff. There's no murders like in Southpaw, or there's no weird stuff going on in the background. It's just basically a man dealing with his own demons, dealing with his wife, a girlfriend, and then trying to basically just some comedic black humor moments too throughout the film as well. You can't really do too much because it's based off a true story. You can't have like something go off the wild. But overall, I felt it was really enjoyable and balanced, especially the second half. So I give The Smashing Machine a 7.5 out of 10.